I've been in a fight and I won. Gotta learn somehow, right? You can learn from my mistakes. Oh no. Ugh. Oh, you took my gold doubloons. Get her, and then they'll get me, but they'll only leave me with a tiny little scar. Live and learn, people. Hey guys, it's Kylie. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing another Halloween makeup look. We are gonna venture today into a little bit of actual SFX makeup. This is a super cheap product. This is from Mehron and it is amazing. This I bought on Amazon for like $6. Somewhere around there. When I looked at it today though, so I could link it in the description box, it was like $8, but if you go to the Mehron website, it is the $6. And I know that's what I bought it for on Amazon, so I don't know why the price went up, but it did on Amazon. Did I even tell you what it does? This is Mehron's Rigid Collodion. It is a scarring liquid. Basically, when you brush it onto your skin like sucks itself in and creates a scarring effect. It's really, really neat. This is good for realistic makeup looks, but you can also incorporate them into the more cartoony ones. And this is also a very quick makeup look. If you don't want to do a whole lot, anything that needs a realistic look and scar. Not quite sure where we're gonna go with this makeup look yet. I'm just gonna start with creating the scars and we'll basically go from there. So when using this product, you only really need two main products. One, some type of pencil or product that you can draw your scar on first and then put the liquid on top of it. The color underneath will give it more of the scarring effect. If you want a super subtle, like just skin like effect, then you don't have to put anything underneath it. But you can also go more in depth with it, add blush, add other undertones, but you can also apply makeup over top, so it's totally up to you. Helpful hints for what type of look you're going for. Browns, mauves will give you a more deep look, and it's a more settled in scar. Pinks will give you more of a fresh scar look, not necessarily brand new, but a newer scar, also with purples as well. And then if you want to do like a new scar, add some blood into it or whatever, red will be good for that. So depending on what you're going for, those colors will help you. I usually use lip liners for this. It's just easy to draw on. You can use eyeliners if you have them in those colors, but lip liners are usually the go-to. Most people have nude shade lip liners, so these are what I go for. So I do know I want to create one bigger scar on my face and then one on my lip. This would make a really cool clown look as well to bring out a smile and stuff. That'll be neat. So basically where you want to use this product is in places where your skin has flexibility to it, because then it will be able to take that skin and like really suck it in, make it. That's what it does. So if you do put it around your mouth though, be careful, because when you talk, when you move, it'll move the liquid around after it's dried. So be careful with that. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take this is Ace Beauty Be Peachy lip liner, and I'm gonna draw out my scar. I'm starting out by drawing the line. I'm not pressing super hard or anything. This doesn't have to be straight. It can be bumpy, wiggly, whatever, because when you have a scar, it is not going to be perfect. We're gonna make another little fork in the road, and then I'm going to fill this part in so it makes it look like a deeper part of my scar. When you're using one shade like this or multiple shades, the darker the shade, the deeper your scar will look. I'm not quite sure how you get this type of scar, but that's okay. All right, and then I'm gonna do one on my lip as well. I'm gonna do it on the top and the bottom, because then it's not gonna move, you know, when I smile and talk as much. I mean, it might move a little bit, but not as much as, you know, the sides. We're gonna start with just these two for now. I'll go from there if we want to add more, but what I'm gonna do is to add a little bit more effect. You don't need to do this, but I am gonna dip into just a matte blush color and go around where I put the liner. This is gonna create more of a irritated effect, like a skin irritation. I'm gonna go back over the line again quick, since I kind of muted that out. Normally I would do the blush first, but because I didn't know where I was gonna exactly put the scar, I didn't want to just blindly put a bunch of blush on my face. This also, please don't put it on your hair, your eyebrows. It will really hurt. And then the other thing is to, if you're gonna buy this, because it is a really great product and it is really cheap and it gives a really cool effect, make sure you also buy some like spirit gum remover to get this off. Otherwise you can use isopropyl alcohol to basically, you know, pat it and dry it off. But that is very drying for your skin, so you may not want that. You can just peel it off, but that's not good for your skin either, and it's gonna hurt a little bit more. I'm going to zoom you in so you can see better when I put this on. Give me 1 second. All right, now that you are closer to my face, we can get started on the actual Rigid Collodion Scar Liquid. If you've never used this before too, please test it on a different part of your skin, like your arm or whatever, not on your face, to see how you react to it, especially if you have sensitive skin. This, even with me, I don't have sensitive skin at all, and it leaves a pretty good red mark afterwards. The other thing about this is it is super pungent. Oh my god, it stinks so bad. So if you're somewhere where you can open a window, you probably want to do that. It's whew. Also keep it away from your eyes. The thing with this too is the brush that comes with it is like one of those paintbrushes that you get in a kid's watercolor paint kit. So it's not the best. You can use a paintbrush if you want it to be smaller or something like that, or if you just need more detail, but it will ruin your paintbrush, so just be aware. Okay, I have just one layer on. I'm gonna be careful when I talk because I can feel it moving just a little bit around my mouth. So if I'm talking funny, that's why. You're supposed to let it sit for about 3 minutes to dry. It dries really fast, but to get the full effect, I would just wait 3 minutes in between each coat to get the full effect. Make sure you have the full effect. You can already see that it's starting to pucker and it's looking really cool. So the more layers you do, the deeper it's going to be, but just wait 3 minutes. It's not that long. Give it the full effect. Otherwise you can't really see how it's gonna end up. You know what I mean? This is after one layer of the liquid, the Rigid Collodion. It's dry. If your skin tingles or anything, I feel like that's normal with this because your skin is tightening. It's like pulling itself together, so just be aware. Now I'm going to go on with my second layer. And now we wait for it to do its thing, for it to dry. I think it's already looking really, really neat. I am liking it a lot. I don't know that I necessarily like how I did this, how it's so straight up and down. I feel like it should have had a little bit more curve to it, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. We'll get through it. It feels weird. All right, I had to pin my hair back because it kept getting in the way and I got some in my hair, but it's okay. Not a lot, it's fine. So this is about 5 layers of the Rigid Collodion. I'd say it's looking pretty darn good if you say so, if I say so myself. And I just did, so, you know. Looks like a scar, looks real. How cool is this? The next step, the Rigid Collodion, is very shiny. So I'm gonna take my Coty Airspun setting powder. It's just a clear setting powder, that's all. And I'm going to lay some on top to get rid of the shininess. This setting powder is like $5 or $6 and it works super well. You can buy it at a drugstore. So this is, I mean, it's super cheap, but I've had this for probably way too long and it's really full, so lasts a long time. You get a lot in there and it just works so well. Now too, at this point, if you want to do other things with this, if you wanted to add more color, I would do that before the setting powder unless you're going to use more powders on top of it. But if you want to make one more of an open wound, more bloody and stuff, you could add something in there, fake blood, whatever. This right here could use a little bit darker of something just because that is a deeper spot, but I'm not going to mess with it. I like it. It's fine. It's fine. What I am gonna do next though is take my Benefit Hoola bronzer and just bronze myself up a little bit. I don't know, what kind of look should this be? Should I just be like a dirty pirate? I just need to be somebody who's I've been in a fight and I won. I have a few scars, but I still won. So who am I? I'm just gonna take that same bronzer that I've been using on my face and go into my eyeballs with it. Not on the lid, but like in the crease. This isn't a small brush by any means. Just want a little color up in there. Let's go in with my Visart palette. This is the Neutral Matte Eyeshadow Palette. This I really use for everything. This is an amazing palette. For now, I just want to give my eyes a little bit of depth and shape. Let's go a little bit under the eyes too. I'm not being real precise with this by any means. It's not necessarily sloppy, but it's not trying to be perfect. I'm not trying to do like beautified look right now. I am gonna add do I wanna do black or do I wanna do a dark brown? I feel like I want to try to do a tiny bit of black. Let's hope this works out. In the outer corners, I'm gonna start, this is a thick blending brush. It's the Morphe M330. Putting a tiny bit of black on the brush, starting it in the outer corner. Like that was not a lot at all. And I'm gonna slowly drag it towards the center of the lid, but I don't wanna drag it out. Now I'll continue it in my crease with whatever is left on the brush. See, the problem with this now is that I have my eyes done, the scar is done. I feel like my face is too not finished enough, you know what I mean? So I think I'm gonna go in with a tiny bit of my foundation. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. I love this stuff so much. This is not going to be my shade, but you know, it's fine. I'm not gonna try to do a lot, and I don't want to try to cover the scars or anything. I'm not gonna go over top of them because I do like what I have going on, and I just completely contoured my face with powder contour, so I don't know if this is gonna go very well. I'm not doing a lot at all. I'm gonna try to just use my makeup brush this time. I usually use a beauty blender, and I'm gonna be very careful too because I don't want to be pulling on my face too much, because since it did like suck it in together, I don't want to be pulling on one side because then it will it can make the dried liquid lift from the skin, and I don't want that. So if I go over top of it a tiny bit, it's not going to make a huge difference or anything. I just don't want a bunch of foundation directly on the scar. So not a big deal if it gets on there. I just don't want a whole bunch. I probably should have just done foundation first. Gotta learn somehow, right? You can learn from my mistakes. Everything will be fine. It's still fine. Okay, I'm gonna take that same blending brush that I went with the black, tap in a little bit more again, and just go underneath the eye, the lower lash line. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do, my eyes are fine. They're fine. I'm going to take a bigger fluffy brush. This is a tapered highlighter brush from Luxie, the 522. I'm gonna go in with like a deep brown and black shade, these two shades here from the same eyeshadow palette, and I'm gonna go around my face. This is just to dinge me up a little bit. I'm putting the product on my brush just a tiny bit, tapping it off and on the clear part here, so then there's not so much on my brush when I put it on my face. Black is can be very hard to work with, so it's easier to work with a little bit and keep adding than to go in with a bunch at one time like I just did here because I didn't wipe my brush enough. Oh no. Ugh. Excuse me. I'm just kind of trying to stipple it because then hopefully it'll give me some texture and everything, but then I keep going back and forth between like stippling and blending. Do I look dirty? Yeah, I think I do. You know, at this point I probably didn't even need the foundation because of how much I'm covering it in all this gunk. It's fine. Okay, at this point, now that I've dirtied myself up and everything, I think what I want to do is make a fresh cut. Like, these are my battle wounds, like, but I want a fresh cut. Like, somebody was just, oh, you took my gold doubloons. Get her. And then they'll get me, but they'll only leave me with a tiny little scar. I don't know where the accent's coming from, but here it is. All right, so I'm using red. This is again by Ace Beauty. This is the color So Gorgeous. I got these in BoxyCharm, so let's make that a little bit thicker there. Yeah, that'll do. We've kind of got like a big open gash. That's gonna be fine, I think, I hope, I don't know. And then we take our Rigid Collodion and just fill it again. Be careful around your eye biscuits, please. All right, and now we wait. I'll do a couple layers and I'll come back when I'm done. Now that I'm looking at my face, I look more bruised than dirty, but I mean, that works too. You get these scars somehow. So while I was waiting for this to dry and doing the layers, which I only did, I think about 3 layers on this one, I deepened my eyes just a little bit more black, put on some mascara. I added eyeliner on the bottom waterline as well as like right underneath and just smudged it out really well. And then I just added like a little bit of brown eyeshadow messily around my mouth. More dirty effect? I don't know. So what I'm gonna do next is, since this is a more fresh wound, it can stay like this and be just fine and be like an open wound, but I want it to be like fresh. I'm going to take my CC Beauty cream palette and just the rinky-dink paintbrush, and I'm gonna add some red inside of here. I did not add the setting powder to this because I knew I wanted to add some red. This red just, it's not like a red, it almost is like a pinky red, so I'm not a huge fan of that, but it's fine. And maybe I'll try some blue first to it. I would like to add a little bit of black, but I feel like if I do the black, it's gonna be too much. So I'm gonna start with the blue. Obviously, it's creating more of a purple tone, but that's okay. And just trying to create a little more depth to everything. And then now I'll go in with a little bit of black, and I want to take that towards the edges. The last thing I want to do, actually, let me add a little bit more red back into this, or attempt to anyways. I could have just gone back in with that lip liner as well with that red. That actually might have been a better idea, but live and learn, people. The last thing that I want to do is add some fake blood, but I'm pretty sure mine is completely dried out. Yep, it's dried out. Oh, nuggets. I could get some ketchup or barbecue sauce. I'll be right back. Okay, since I don't have any fake blood, not a big deal. I just have a little dish with some barbecue sauce. The reason I'm using this and not ketchup is because ketchup is just like super red, which would work too. But this has a hint of red to it, but isn't like super overwhelming. It's gonna look like blood. So I'm just taking a paintbrush and just adding it inside first, so it's a little bloody. And then we can even add some drips next to it. And I'm just like putting a bunch, not a bunch, but a good amount, and then rolling it onto the skin next to the wound. I don't think I like how that looks necessarily, but I'm already committed, so here we are. Gonna be walking around with barbecue sauce on her face. At least it smells good. It smells a heck of a lot better than that liquid sky stuff. There you go. I mean, I'm not mad at it. It looks pretty good, right? Yeah, I like it. So that's basically it. This stuff is like, I'm gonna put a hat on or do my hair or something, and then I'll show you like the final look. But for the most part, this stuff is so easy to work with. You can do such a fast look. I mean, these scars were so easy, so you don't have to do a big fancy makeup look. You can do this on, I mean, I would not put it on a child, but like men and women, anybody can wear it and make a cool look out of it without having to do a bunch of makeup. Like, my husband doesn't like a whole lot of makeup on his face. He will do it, but this he would like a lot better, so I could do just a quick 5-minute boom boom you're done look. So also another tip that I would say is don't do too many layers, because you can clearly see the effect, but the more layers you do, like, it looks fine still, but like right here, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, it's almost lifting at the end, and I don't know if that's from me pulling with like adding foundation and stuff and my skin being pulled, or if it's because maybe I did do too many layers. I don't know. But I mean, it still looks fine. It still looks good. I like it. Is this a pirate hat? No, but I don't have a pirate hat. So this is the closest thing I got. Oh, it covers my scar. I like the look though. This is very cool. I'm happy. Are you happy? I'm accomplished. I feel accomplished, so that's good. I would totally wear this for Halloween. It's so easy. And I don't feel like too ridiculous, you know? Let me know your thoughts. If you have any questions about the Rigid Collodion, I suggest though too, my bottle's already almost gone. Like I've got a very little bit left. I suggest if you're going to do a couple trial and errors or do looks on multiple people, get the bigger bottle. It's definitely worth it because now I'm gonna need to be buying some more. I love this stuff. It's so fun. Cool. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, please let me know. Other than that, we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.